Hey, what's happening, Zymbologist? It's Dane Short coming to you with a quick training video. I'm actually beyond excited for this. We have our first celebrity coming in to visit us to give us some tips. We have Simon Chan with us, and I know a lot of you guys already know him. Some of you guys that are new to the direct sales MLM industry may not have heard from him. Just a quick kind of bio that I have for him. Simon has built seven-figure MLM business with over 200,000 distributors, which is absolutely mind-blowing. I met Simon at the the Ambitious Women's Conference 2 weeks ago that I spoke at, and it was really cool. You know, it's Ambitious Women's Conference, so not a whole lot of guys there. And what it ended up being is two guys the entire weekend were able to actually go on stage. One was myself, and I was kind of up on a panel, and then Simon was the other guy that went up there, and he actually did a keynote. And I was just blown away by how much he's accomplished and kind of his vision and what kind of work he's doing now. So, Simon, I want to welcome you in. Thank you so much for being here.
Yeah, thank you. It was easy to stand out at the conference. The only two guys who got to be on stage.
Yeah, I know. Sometimes it's a little bit of strategy there, and you know, for me, being in jewelry sales, kind of being one of the only guys there, plus having jewelry to offer, really helps to differentiate. You know.
So yeah, I'm excited to be here. How can I help the Zymbologist?
Yeah, so I gave them a little bio on you, but if you would tell us a little bit about yourself, like when you got into the business and kind of how you grew it. I'd love to just get a little bit of background, then we can dive into some tips that some of our Zymbologists may be able to use to grow their business.
Yeah, so I got started in 2003. Hopefully I don't look that old, but I've been in the profession for 15 years. I didn't make any money at the beginning, so I can share definitely. For the first couple of months, I was struggling, so I can definitely share what not to do, okay? Mm-hmm. The mistakes in direct selling. And, you know, I did it part-time. Eventually, I started doing a lot of stuff online. And back then, online was way, way, way harder. You know, I'm just a shy, quiet Asian kid from Brooklyn, New York. I grew up in Brooklyn and moved out to Los Angeles to be with a friend in 2002 and then got started. I read Rich Dad, Poor Dad, basically, and realized that, hey, you know, I can't have a job. I need to work for myself, basically. If I wanted to live the life I wanted, I could do something for myself. And then from there, found out about direct selling. And I basically recruited myself. And I actually, before I even chose direct selling, I had read Purpose Driven Life by Rick Warren. And God's really important to me. And at that time, I was like, what should I be doing? And I thought about doing like a franchise, doing different things. And I felt that direct selling is really, you know, you're just not selling, but you're really helping people. Every time you're, you know, like Zymbol, you know, the Zymbols are so cool. Every time you have a product like that, you're touching someone's heart, right? With love, compassion, whatever message you're touching, you're helping people. And ultimately, if you want to grow a direct selling organization, you got to not just sell, but you got to train people and coach. And that's something that, even though I was a shy, quiet kid, I used to always like coaching youth sports. I did basketball and stuff like that. And so that's how I got started. But I struggled for a while, but eventually, if you stay in, you've got a great product, you know, like the Zymbols, you stay in there, anyone can be successful. Anyone can make a full-time income. And about 2.5 years later, I was able to go full-time. And then I built a huge business, not just the U.S., but Malaysia and also in the Philippines. And eventually grew, you know, like what Dana said, tens of thousands of people. And then in 2012, I had like a different calling. I felt that, you know, God blessed me with the ability to be a good coach, speaker, and I just want to make an impact through not just in my company, but the entire network marketing profession, in the direct selling profession specifically, because there's so many companies doing different products, but they're all kind of similar model. So that's how I became a full-time coach. I started part-time, and then in April 2013, became a full-time coach for the direct selling profession. So, and now here I am, and we have a podcast with different things, but I'm excited to be here, Dane.
Yeah, well, and thank you so much for sharing that. And you know, it's kind of interesting now. Us, you know, we've been in business for 8 years, but we had kind of taken the route of being on QVC and building our business a separate way. So when we just decided to launch into direct sales and doing the social selling, it's a lot of people come on and they love the product and the concept, and you know, it means the world when someone actually makes the decision to sign up. And they come on and they're excited and they get their kit, and then, you know, it's just that's where the wall hits. And it's tough to get people self-motivated to either, launch or what are the first steps. And on our end, we do as much training as we can on our software and trying to be motivational. We don't want to shove it down people's throats necessarily, but, even hearing that it took you a while to get started, being where you are now, like it's not something, it's awesome. What's the alternative, right? Like working for someone else. It's not necessarily that the model fails. It's just, it takes time to build stuff like this up. So, yeah, go ahead.
Well, I'll share something. I made almost every mistake that you can make, from the beginning level to the high leadership level, right? I think that's the only reason why I'm where I am. I've just failed and made some really dumb, stupid things. Well, I think in right now, I think one of the first things I want to share is, don't think of you have to sell and do a lot of talking. The more you talk, now if you want to sell the product, great, but it's really, the more you talk, the more you lose, because people don't want to be sold, right? So use the tools. Like now, I think it's way easier now, because back then when I first started, online video wasn't, something you can count on, because broadband wasn't out there. So if I talk to you, Dane, and you want to learn more, and you don't have an internet, you can't watch it right away, what I'm going to do, I use a three-way call, or I have to start explaining it to you, right? Yeah. Nowadays, it's so easy. I mean, how I found learn about Zymbol was, I wanted to, one of your reps sent me a video. And in that video, I think it was only 2 minutes long. I learned everything about it.
Yes.
Right? I could, you know what? It's the crazy. I learned more about that than if you explained it to me. If you explained it to me, I'll probably ask questions. It was very easy. Okay, I got it. It's really cool. You can write any letter, any number there. Really, it's so funny, because afterwards I explained to my wife, and like I explained for 30, 45 seconds, and she has no clue what I was talking about. I was just like, well, just watch the video. It'll save me time. So it's really simple. Learn, you all have great tools. I watched the video. I'm vouching for it. Right? If someone's interested, just show them it's catchy, that you want to know more about this. This is really special, and just pull it on your phone. Everyone has 2 minutes to watch on the phone, right? And they can see it, and then they see the story, and it gets them interested. So first lesson I'll share is, don't talk too much. Use, Zymbol is a cool thing. So if you say you want to learn more about it, pop that video on your phone, save it on there, bookmark it, or put it on YouTube, whatever. Just bookmark it and then show it. Show it. Watch this. And then that would, get people interested. But a lot of times people end up talking too much. This is good. And then you start, we can even make money on it. And then it goes down the whole rabbit tail, and people are like, what rabbit hole? People are like, what the heck are you talking about? And then you lose that person.
Totally. Yeah. Like you actually talk yourself out of a sale. Possibly.
Yeah, you got, and that's another mistake, that people oversell. You don't need more information. People see a beautiful product. I have this, you see the beautiful product, and even this thing is a tool, right? This is a tool. Yes. Just show people this. They watch a video. They want to learn more. You show them this. You can write any message in there. And then, you have like a sample you can show people. Use the tools. Talk less and use more of the tools.
Yes. I love that. That's great. And we put a lot of thought into that video, even though it is less than 2 minutes. And, it's not a Hollywood. We didn't have a Hollywood budget for it. But, everything that's said in there has been culminated over the last 8 years of like, this is the easiest and most precise way that exactly what you're saying. Your wife, you talk to her for 20 minutes trying to explain it. No, do this. Or you just say, here, watch this video for under 2 minutes. Boom. They get it. So let's say someone does that, right? Like they're in, the person gets, when a person is trying to actually grow their business, that's a great first tip, but what else do you have? I was going to ask you, your top 3 tips for someone to succeed in direct sales in general. And I know that everybody's company is different, and it doesn't even, and you and I were talking, it doesn't necessarily need to be specific to Zymbol, right? Like these concepts are universal.
Well, the first thing I would do is, you want to have a concept where, just talk about online, right? Because everyone has like some type of online profile now. So LinkedIn, or on Twitter, or Facebook is the most common ones. Instagram is a very common one, or Snapchat. Is you want to always increase curiosity, but decrease resistance. So a mistake that people make, because you're so passionate about Zymbol, is putting Zymbol everywhere on your profile. Because then, just think about this. If I was a person, Dane, if I was, I just approached you. I post pictures of my family and stuff like what I like to do, and I approached you. Would you be open, and you look at my profile, I seem like a pretty interesting person. Would you be interested to have some type of conversation with me?
Totally. Yeah. Looks
Yes,
like a
yes,
great
right,
guy.
yes. Right now, and if I approached you, you'd be like, okay, this guy wants to meet me. You'd be okay. You probably talk to me for you at least give me a couple minutes, or you might message back and forth online a couple of times to see if I'm okay, right? You want to dig deeper. But what about if I on my profile, all I had was real estate listings and condo listings, houses in Austin on my Facebook profile, and then I approach you. What are you immediately thinking I'm going to do?
You're coming in for the sale.
I want to sell a house to you. I want to see if you want to open the house. I want you to get a client, right? I have an open house. I want to show it to you. So you're skeptical. Your guards are raised, right? So it's the same thing with this product. You can go out there and show people it, but you don't need to talk about the name of it. You don't need to, because the whole point is you all have a great video, amazing story. You want people to go to you for you to share, for you to present the video, and not for them just to Google and find out.
That's a really good suggestion.
Yeah, here's another thing, right? If I talk to you, and I looked at what you're posting, Zane, I'm curious about what is these jewelry, what are these earrings, what are these pendants you're doing, and I reach out to you, right? And you just say you show me the tool, and I say, Zane, I am not interested right now, okay? And I just go away. But at least you're gonna remember me though. You have a record that, hey, maybe Simon, 6 months from now, or it's my wife's birthday, or we have an anniversary. Maybe you can follow up with me, right? Because maybe I could. Now, But what happens if I was just online and I saw, this Dane guy's in Zymbol. I'm gonna Google Zymbol and I do all the research by myself, and then, but you never know. You never know I was even interested, so you don't have any follow up. Right? Yeah. So it is so important. Like when you're doing that, you want to increase curiosity. You want to start that conversation. That doesn't mean they're guaranteed they're going to buy the product, but at least you know they were interested. If I reached out to you and say, tell me more about Zymbol, at least you know Simon was interested and you can follow up with me later. But I mean, because everyone's social media, everyone's watching. They may not like them, but they're watching you. So you just put them and they're doing their research through Google, right? You don't know who they are. And the research through Google is a disservice to you. You all have a much more empowering story about Zymbol, of what you can share, what it meant to you, and the tools you have, than like for me, from the prospect to go research on Google. They're doing a disservice to themselves, disservice to Zymbol by doing their own research.
It's really, really, you kind of flipped the script on me there. And I hadn't really thought about that as much. And we kind of have this mystique with just like the design itself on being, it piques your curiosity anyway, especially if people are wearing it, because it's kind of a conversation piece type thing where people are wanting to like ask you about it. So I think we kind of have one foot in the door on that, of just being a design that people have not seen, but they're also drawn to it. And that's such a good suggestion to also add in the whole curiosity thing. I mean, it's that push versus pull marketing strategy, and, just pushing stuff down people's throats all the time. Although that seems like that, I think it seems like the right plan, like on the surface, like, well, I'm a Zymbologist. Let me just go off and post.
Yeah. Well, when you do that, some people do get results, but short-term results. Right? So, I mean, if you just post, this is Zymbol, you got to go get this, you got to get this, you know what? Like, every one of your friends will know about it, and some of them may avoid you. But just like the example I gave, like if I was a real estate, I posted real estate listings, I'd reach Zane, Zane would be skeptical, right? And now, if you reach out to 100 people, you have an awesome product, what couple of people want to be a customer? Yes, there will be. But everyone's going to avoid you later on. It's much better to create that, because they're like, I don't want to do this. It's much better to increase that conversation, and then you know who your prospects are. And this is so simple. I just thought while we're talking, I could have said that, I got this from my wife. She sent me a special message. What do you think, what message do you think she sent? Just posted a picture like that. And you see the people like, what is that? What the heck is that? You start saying, and then you comment, and then you can start commenting by replying and build a relationship with those people. Hey, and then you can take a private message, and then, hey, you want to learn more, you can send them that video, right? And then you can also, another post, hey, how many letters and numbers can you see in this design? Yeah. Right? Or true and false, there's 26 letters in this thing. It's true, or you think it's BS? Right? There's 10 numbers here. You can do all these curiosity posts, and people are like, what is that? People start commenting, and everyone who comments becomes a prospect that you can follow up with.
Totally. That's genius. That's getting engagement on your social post. It's piquing curiosity. I absolutely love that. That's fantastic. That's a really good suggestion. So let's say that someone kind of takes that in and they're sitting there, like, as far as other ways of day-to-day, like what people need to be focusing in on. So we have it established, like, don't overdo it. Don't be too pushy. What are some other things that people can try to implement in their day-to-day work?
Well, in every business and almost every, not just business, every part in life, we have checklists, right? We have a checklist. You go to school, there's a checklist. And my son, he's in second grade, there's a checklist of things you have to do. My 2.5 years old, when he goes to school to 12:30, when he goes in, there's a checklist. You put your lunch in the cubby and you take your water bottle and you put it in the water bottle. It's the same thing. And now, like the kid at McDonald's who owns to operate a $20 billion company, McDonald's, right? They have a checklist. And in direct selling, you need a checklist. That's what we call it, the DMO, right? The daily method of operation. And you can download that at MLMnation.com. Basically, every day, posting 3 times a day. You can post 3 times a day about yourself. Doesn't necessarily need to be about Zymbol. It could be just about your attitude, positivity, about love, compassion, right? These are the things that attracts good people into your life. Posting 3 times a day, meeting 5 new contacts a day. That means networking. It could be meeting, offline in your community, in a church, in the gym, or what we teach is meeting people on using Facebook groups, right? Facebook groups or Instagram hashtags. You can meet unlimited number of people. Then you have ask 5 people whether they want to learn more. Okay, send 5 people. Well, hey, do you want to learn more? I'm working on something exciting. I'm working on something this is really meaningful to me. It may or may not be for you, but would you be interested to learn more? Because you may know someone that could use something like this. Right? And what's the secret meaning behind this? An invite, that doesn't mean they're going to buy, but you want to put it out there. And then you want to follow up with 5 people. These are people who looked at it. Maybe they weren't interested. Maybe they were thinking about it. You got to follow up. And the last 3 is you got to send out 3 videos a day. Get 3 people to look at that video, that 2-minute video you have every day to learn more about it. Or it could be a 3-way call, or it could be attending a home meeting, or a kind of grand opening you do with the products. But this is a 3-5-5-5-3. This is the same formula I use to build like a 7-figure business. There's also a lot of my coaching clients use as well. These are the income producing activities. And the good thing is good news is because online, it doesn't take much time.
Yeah,
it doesn't really
helps.
That doesn't take much time. Now, it does need to be focused time. If you're scrolling through the news feeds, but if you just set a timer, and we do this in our insider group, 15 minutes, that's just all you do. People nail this out in 15, 20 minutes.
Unbelievable. 3-5-5-5-3.
Yes, 3, but you want to post 3 times a day. Okay, 5, meet 5 new friends. You want to invite 5 people. Just asking them where they want to take a look. You want to follow up with 5. And then you want to send 3 people to a video or some information about Zymbol every day.
Unbelievable. Yeah, and it seems like as you do that on a daily basis, it'll get easier to not only you'll get in the groove of it, but the actual follow-ups can be from people that had commented on your other post. If you were to, do the, hey, how many letters do you see in this type thing? Like that's where the follow-up can come.
Absolutely. People, for example, if you've never done anything, you do this for the first 2 days, you're not going to get results, right? But you're building a pipeline. You're not going to have anyone, I'm interested. But do it for 2 weeks, you're going to start getting results. You're going to have people who want to look at the video. And like I said, and the longer you do it, it's easier and easier because someone I presented right now, I'm not interested. But 2 months from now, when it's Christmas, actually, the stuff that Dane showed, maybe it'd be good. When it was my wife's birthday, maybe those earrings would be good. It's, there's never a bad prospect, just the wrong time. So the people you talk to today, they're not interested. They may be interested later.
Yeah, that's great. And so I guess if we're talking about that with following up with someone, how do you decipher between the actual customer on this person may want to buy a piece of Zymbol jewelry as a gift, as opposed to the person that's going to join as a Zymbologist? I mean, do you treat those? Do you have a different mindset, or do you teach people a different mindset on approaching customer versus team member, possible team member? I mean, how's that intertwined for you?
Well, I would not. I think another mistake that people do is prejudging prospects, right? So don't prejudge people. You're either going to take so I'm saying, Dana makes a lot of money. I think he's just going to be a customer. But you know what? If you ask people, for example, Dana, if you ask most people on the street, how are you doing? What's the most people going to say?
Great.
Right. They're not going to say, I'm not good. I'm actually, owe the IRS like $5,000. I
Yeah.
actually in $30,000 credit card debt, barely made my mortgage last. They're not going to say that, right? So
Yeah.
don't prejudge. We like the same thing. People that, how you doing? They're great. You don't tell people all your problems. There's a lot of, especially when it comes to like health or it comes to finances, people are very private about that. So number one, don't prejudge. Like, oh, that person I should tell about Zymbol as a business. This person I should tell about the product. You know what? Lead with what you're passionate about. Why did you get involved with Zymbol? Is it because you really love the message? If you really love the message, it's an awesome product, then lead with the product. And generally, you have more duplication when it's the product because you have a better product story. Most people, if you're talking about, especially like with jewelry, with Zymbol, these designs, because most people are not entrepreneurs, not business owners. So all of a sudden you go out there and say, hey, I got a business, you're going to make money with jewelry. They're like, yeah, but you never had any money. You never did any business before. So they want to look at you. Like they don't treat you with credibility. But everyone can recommend something, right? So, hey, I've got this great jewelry. I love it. Check this out. Look at this cool design here. And they're like, what is that? Hey, you know what? This is really special. I can't even explain it. Watch this 2-minute video. I think you'll like it. That's easier to do, right? And you're wearing it and stuff. That creates conversation. So anyway, to make a long answer to that, don't prejudge. Choose one way. If it's for the business, go. If you like the product, first go. But normally, your story, right? Because if you get your story right, if you have your story down, no one can refute that. Okay, and I want to explain what that means. And that's the easiest way to create duplication. So in my company, I was in a nutrition company. And first 8 years I took it, I've got sick only one time in 8 years.
Wow.
And now, before, I'm a pretty healthy person. It's not like I used to get sick every time. I used to get sick one time a year. But throughout the year, I'll get a runny nose and a sore throat. I get sick one time a year. And then people will ask me like, Simon, you still doing that thing? And I'll just use my story. You can use your story to answer any question. It's like, hey, I've gotten sick only one time in the last 8 years. Do you think I'll be still doing it?
Yeah.
Now, people are like, is this legit? Is it a scam? Hey, I've been sick only one time in the last 8 years. Do you think it's a scam? Hey, Simon, I don't like to, I can't sell. Me neither. All I know is I've been sick only one time in the last 8 years, and my colleagues ask me, hey, how come you never take any sick days? Or like, how come you're never sick?
Yeah.
Oh, people say, oh, I don't have any time to do this. It's like, all I do is take the product for 8 years. I got sick only one time. You don't need much time. Right? And the same thing with this. If you have your story, just think you have a secret, a special message, someone, loved one, send it to you. It's like, why are you doing this? All I know that every time I wear this makes me feel happy and good. It makes me feel loved for a special, and it brings back memories of a special person. Totally. And that's why I do what I do. You have a story. Every one of you have a specific story why you got involved. You're a Zymbologist. Share that story, and get good at sharing that story over and over and over and over and over and over and over again, because that can overcome any objection out there.
It's such good advice. And I think everyone really needs to take that to heart. I mean, we talk about in our training, turning our story into your story. And what we mean by that is, the story of how this design was created with my mom doodling, that is what happened. So that's set in stone. But your story of why you're a Zymbologist and how you use Zymbol is just, it's so important. And if that's told authentically, can attract everything that you're wanting. And now that what we've just established with Simon is that we've taken care of the our story part by having that 2-minute video. And obviously we'll be making that video again and again and making it bigger and better, but not even having to tell that side of the story. The person sees the video, they understand what the product is. Now it's the authenticity of why do you wear Zymbol? Is it that you wake up every morning and it represents what you're grateful for that day, or your positive affirmation, or it's got the memory of a loved one? Like, there's so many different ways of going there. And we're on the exact same wavelength with that, Simon. I really appreciate that interjection right there, because it really means a lot. And it is a story-driven product, and people having authentic stories, people can tell, it's not like you're talking about not getting out there and selling too much and overdoing it. It is kind of a fine line, I guess. Walking the tightrope of being authentic versus trying to let people know that you're a Zymbologist. I mean, do you have any input on that? Of like, someone signs up to be a Zymbologist. I mean, we would like, you would hope their friends and family know that they're a Zymbologist. Do you have any input on like kind of first contacts, or how do you train people on that?
Yeah, you can say, I just got something. I'm working on something I'm really passionate about. It's about helping people. Now, it may or may not be for you, but would you be open to learning what I'm doing?
Yeah, perfect.
Gets curious. I think so people, what most people say, what is it?
Yeah.
Right.
That's that curiosity.
Right. Curiosity. And then you can send them the video. You can say, hey, look at this. You know what this is? I'll send you a quick 2-minute video, explains everything. Only less than 2 minutes, you know what this is. The secret, anything, there's a secret message behind this. Guess what it is? I'm like, what? I won't tell you the secret, but watch that video.
They're watching that video after that too. That's happening.
Yeah.
Awesome. So, and then, you know, in going through that, and I mean, the follow-up is kind of there. Like once people are, when you're in the trenches and you're in the day-to-day, it's just really the keeping with the follow-up and really staying passionate towards the product. I mean, I don't know if you have any other suggestions on like people keeping up their motivation, or, you know, is there a carrot on the end of the stick that some people are chasing? I mean, what else do you suggest there, just as far as maintenance and daily activities?
Well, for every person who's successful, any type of entrepreneur, they're driven by vision. Yeah. Right. So you're a Zymbologist because it's not just like, oh, I'm going to buy a bunch of jewelry. Is you have a bigger vision, purpose, whether, you know, and don't tell me it's just to make money, but make money to do what? Is it to take your kids out of daycare? Is it, you know, allow you to travel with your kids? Is it, you know, take your kids to places where they can learn? Whatever it is, right? Or you want to donate to a charity, you want to do mission work. There's always, you know, this is just a vehicle for you to achieve other things.
Yeah.
So you got to live, you know, people who are successful are always living in the future. The thinking of the vision drives them, because you know what? The truth is there are going to be moments, there are moments where it's going to be tough for you in being a Zymbologist, right? There's going to get some rejection. So there's a couple of things. Number one, you're driven by vision. Number two, you got to be constantly in a community of like-minded individuals, right? If you're everyone surrounded who are entrepreneur, they're really excited about it, then you'll be excited. If you know, if you're hanging out with people that don't believe in doing a side income, don't believe in, you know, why don't understand why you're doing something to earn just to earn a couple $100, a couple $1,000 a month, they don't understand that, they're happy with their job, then, you know, you're going to be very discouraged, because they're going to have, you know, it's like it's a saying, right? If you're not a smoker, you don't smoke, but you hang out with 10 friends that smoke, and you're going to end up just smoking. The same thing with alcohol, right? What's the first thing they do? You know, Alcohol Anonymous is don't hang out, don't put yourself in a setting where you have alcohol, right? It's because the people influence you. The stuff you listen to influences you. You know, if you staying away from negative news, the TV, watching news, that you know, as Zymbologist, you got to be motivated, inspired for the future, for a greater cause. And a lot of times you watch the news, that's not very inspiring.
Agreed, especially in this day and age. It can get a little tough. Yeah. And then you're spending your mental energy on things that aren't productive. And, you know, I don't know exactly what the number is, but the X amount of friends, you're the average of your 5 closest friends or whatever. I mean,
absolutely. Yeah.
I believe that, you know, and all of the law of attraction and just, you know, whether it's a vision board or it's writing out goals. And what's cool about Zymbol is you can kind of incorporate those goals and your vision into this and use it as your kind of daily reminder of like, why am I doing this? You know, what is my intention? We got New Year's coming up. So this whole New Year's resolution and setting it within Zymbol is just a really cool way to kind of stay motivated. Well, so what would you say is the number one reason people fail? I mean, I know we've touched on a lot, but is there something that just sticks out to you that this is what takes people down?
I mean, there's a bunch of reasons why people fail. I mean, like hanging on the wrong community of people, that's a big part of it. And you're the average of the 5 people. But it really goes back to your vision, right? People are successful, think long-term, not instant short-term gratification. You got to have a bigger vision. Like, so where do you ask yourself 5 years from now, how is Zymbol going to help you? How many people's lives are going to impact it? Start dreaming. You know, when do most people start dreaming? You know, when they're kids, I think probably like 10 years old, 12 years old, they're just like, oh, the stuff I want to be as a kid is never going to happen. And you just basically live in a rut, right? So start dreaming, and because, you know, your vision always pulls you, drives you. Where do you plan to do it? And also, if your vision, your why is not about you, about others, that's even stronger. You know, part of me was my vision is always with my kids. So my fear is like, well, I want one day to tell my kids, oh, your daddy quit on something. And I would let them down, right? They kind of hold me accountable. But have other people hold you accountable goes back to the community and your vision. Your vision is what excites you. When you're down, and you are going to be down because there's no one at 100% is going to say yes, even though you got a great product. There will be people that, now they may not say yes, no forever, but just no right now. But there will be people say no to you. And you got to be driven by that vision in the future.
Yeah, I love that. And I've always had the mantra of like, I want to live a story that I'm excited to tell, you know, and I always think about that and getting into different situations. Like, would I, in looking back, be excited to tell someone about what I've done? And, you know, the whole concept of you can't really jump from peak to peak in life, right? It's not all jumping from success to success. Like, we learn the most when we're down in those failures. And something I've always said is when we created Zymbol, my family and I took the sales and we went to Zymbol Island and we burnt the ship. So for us, there's just no retreating, right? We're committed to this. And I feel like that mindset with knowing what your vision is, being committed, and then implementing the strategies, right? Like there is a little bit of a balance on, you know, watching the movie The Secret, for example, that is the law of attraction, which I believe in and I love. But one thing that they missed in that is you can't necessarily sit at the bottom of the staircase and visualize yourself at the top, right? Like, you actually have to walk up the stairs to get there.
Someone's got to do the work.
So yeah, someone's got to do the work, and it's not always the greatest work, but if you're not doing the work this way and being the business owner and being in this entrepreneurial journey, you're going to be doing it at another job where, you know, someone's paying you, right? It's not like, so I don't know when people kind of look down on the industry, I never quite get that. It's the same thing, but in this one, in this, you're just more in control, right? Like you're in control of your destiny. Yeah.
And I'll end with two things. Number one, the temptation to quit is greatest when success is right around the corner.
Mm-hmm.
Right? The temptation to quit is greatest when success is right around the corner. And then getting back to your question, like, how do you become why do people fail? Why do people become successful? The only way to fail is by quitting. Right? Making mistakes, that's fine. The only way you fail is by quitting. And, you know, I can't wait to saying, because people ask, what's the difference between having a direct selling business and, you know, as an employee, you're overpaid in the beginning, but underpaid for the rest of your life.
Yes.
So think about that. You're overpaid. I mean, your first day at a job, you don't know what you're doing, but you get full benefits, everything. You're overpaid. You're overpaid at the beginning, but you're underpaid for the rest of your life. As an entrepreneur, you're underpaid in the beginning, but you're going to be overpaid for the rest of your life.
I might need to print that out and put that on my wall. I think that's fantastic. And that's a great place to close up here. So if some of these Zymbologists want to work with you, which I know they will, how can they reach out to you, and what kind of are you offering there?
Yeah, well, we have a group, insider group, that we actually prospect together. We have the ultimate online duplication library of over 180 videos to help you. But right now it's closed, but you can go to MLMNationInsider.com and get on the waiting list. And then, so that's MLMNationInsider.com. And then for the DMO, you can follow me on Facebook, Simon Chan, MLM Nation. And also the DMO, just go to MLMNation.com. Okay, MLMNation.com. You can download it, and I'll be email it, and you can reply back to those emails. I'll read every one of them, and then we can stay in touch there.
Sweet. Simon, you are the man. I can't thank you enough for coming on here and sharing all that insight. It's unbelievable, and I'm really looking forward to staying in touch with you and linking arms and growing together here in this industry.
Yeah, thank you so much for inviting me. It's exciting. I'm excited for you all. You have a great product, and I love your vision. So keep rocking it.
Yes, sir. I appreciate it. All right, man. We'll talk soon.
God bless you.
Thank you.